Ready for a challenge? Choose your dishes wisely, or you might regret it. From the easiest to the most difficult, prepare yourself for the ultimate feast. Which dish will you choose? That burger sure looks tempting. Ready to make your choice? Oops, who's the sneaky one that took a bite? Can you choose the right dish? Savor the moment, it's hot dog time. Which one do you choose? Fries before anyone because they're too irresistible. Ready to make your bet? Is it really healthy? Because it looks hella tasty. Which one are you picking? These nuggets look yum. Not sure about the other one though. Can you make the right guess? Yikes, that's a stomachache waiting to happen. Which dish did you choose? Who doesn't love a good cheese pool? Choose your pick carefully. These meatballs look too delicious to ignore. Ready to choose the best dish? Yum, crunchy, crispy taco. Any guesses on the dish? You might break a few teeth with that one. Which dish decides your fate? Wrapped up goodness, that's hard to resist. Can you pick the right dish? These nachos would be perfect with your favorite dip. Any clues on this dish? What's better than a melted cone? A mouth-watering ice cream. Ready to make your pick? Oh heavens, talk about a recipe for disaster. Which one will you pick? A burst of fruitiness. Which one are you picking? Yikes, we wouldn't go near that one. Any guesses on the right dish? The avocado toast is simply smashing. Which one are you picking? This bagel is a whole lot of deliciousness. Any clues on this? This yummy treat will make your day better. Which dish did you pick? That is the most tempting ring ever. Any guesses on this one? Oops, that's a lot to clean up. Which one did you pick? The only delicious way to indulge in veggie goodness. Ready to pick up the best? Give yourself a flavor punch with these dumplings. Can you choose the right dish? Undeniably the best. Which one do you pick? Oh, you can smell the aroma right through. Ready to pick your dish? Guess things didn't go well for that popcorn. Choose your dish carefully. Dig into the twirl of perfection. Which dish will you pick? Savor the wiggly goodness. Can you pick the right dish? It's a true brownie delight. Any guesses on this one? Bacon makes everything better. Which one do you think is the best? Why go for melted mess when you can have the perfect little treats? Can you pick a dish? The ultimate craving recipe, ramen. Which one will you pick? Delicious rolls of happiness. Can you choose the perfect dish? That is a poor excuse for a cake. Which one will you pick? These crispy chicken wings are heaven. Can you pick the right one? Pastel shells and luscious filling. Any guesses on this one? Thick and creamy, they look appetizing for sure. Which dish is yours? Can't say no to a juicy steak. Ready to guess the right dish? They add a bit of flavor to every dish. Can you choose the dish? Refreshingly good with a touch of flavor. Which dish are you choosing? A true classic dish. Any guesses on this one? Who ate the kebabs? Can you guess this one? It's pad thai, a savory blend of flavors. Which one will you pick? The perfect crispy tempura. What will you pick? However you pronounce it, it's simply delicious. Can you pick the right dish? A creamy blend of espresso and cocoa. Which one will you pick? This bell pepper is a burst of flavors. Did you make your pick? That does not look too good. Choose your dish carefully. The best way to transform an onion. Which one will you pick? It's a flavor fiesta. Did you pick the right dish? That definitely isn't yummy. Which one will you pick? A Starbucks a day keeps you happy. Any clues on this one? Who ate the drumsticks? Ready to pick your fate? Maybe you could try melting it? Which one are you picking? We don't think you'd want to kiss that face. Which one is the right dish? This is a cheesecake nightmare. Ready to choose your dish? While we enjoyed this wrap, you can cook that raw meat. Which dish will you pick? Fruit salads are the best kind of salad. Can you choose the best? Fluffy soft eggs, cooked to perfection. Ready to place your bets? Yuck, what even is that? Which one will you choose? Strawberries are delicious, but not when they're moldy. Choose yours carefully. Layers of pasta and rich sauce, made to perfection. Which one did you pick? Definitely going for the perfectly made creme brulee. Any guesses on this one? That is just a gooey thickness of disgust. Which one did you pick? Nothing beats the heat like a popsicle. Did you pick the right dish? Piping hot churros with a dust of cinnamon. Any guesses on this one? Crispy waffles with a drizzle of maple syrup. Which dish did you pick? This coffee certainly boosts your mood. Which one did you pick? There is definitely something wrong with this froyo. Ready to place your bets? Are those what we think it is? Bugs? Which one did you pick? These are the fluffiest marshmallows ever. Any clues on this one? Crispy on the outside and cheesy on the inside. Which dish did you pick? Well, at least you can keep it as a decor. Any guesses on the right dish? A delicious bowl of bibimbap will make any stomach growl. Can you pick the best dish? Hope you didn't pick that one. Which one will you pick? Seafood is incomplete without a crab cake. Ready to place your bets? Dip it in milk and you're good to go. Which dish will you pick? This chicken tikka would go perfect with some naan. Can you guess the right one? That crepe is literally drowned in sauce. Which one did you pick? Lobster is the true king of seafood. Are you ready for the challenge? You just hit the chocolatey jackpot. Will you pick the right one? That's a creepy looking dish. Can you make the right guess? Oh, we don't want that mold in our stomachs. Any guesses on the right dish? Well, that is definitely not the chicken we were looking for. Can you get this one right? A tempting mix of espresso and vanilla. Which one will you pick? Twirl your forks to the symphony of flavors. Did you choose your dish? Chewy and flavorful. It's a delight. Any guesses on this one? Are those really sandwiches? Which one will you pick? A boost of energy to brighten your day. Ready to make your pick? That seems a bit too loved by the stove. Did you pick the right one? That's a yummy looking chicken. Ready to make your guess? Fluffy and sweet, mochi is the best. Which dish are you picking? Now that is an omelet worth dying for. Ready to pick the best dish? Now that's a tempting lamb rib. Get ready to pick your dish. Who can resist a cheese charm? Which one will you pick? Layers of juicy beef? Who can ignore it? Are you ready to pick? It's indeed nature's gold nectar. Can you guess it right? Fish is good, as long as you cook it right. Ready to choose your dish? Looks like that grill's gone rogue. That was a fun quiz. Let us know your score in the comment section below, and hit subscribe for more such entertaining quizzes.